Hi, my investor friends. Hey, this is Ken Renner. I just wanted to get with you regarding some of the strategies for pre-close, closing, and post-close for your home. If you're getting this video, you probably just are about to close on your house, or you already closed on it. So I just want to go down some bullet points. I'll send this out to you in a PowerPoint as well, so that you have it. But for right now, I just want to get this in your hands. So our bottom line is that we want to make sure that before closing, that you've got your insurance taken care of, and that you have as much liability insurance that your homeowner's insurance will cover. Usually, we're looking at $500,000. It's cheap, and it's one of your first defenses if anything happens at the property. Also, you understand that we do, for the most part, do the walkthroughs and the inspections for you. Sabrina, my assistant, will be helping you coordinate all that. And I'm sure you've already been through the process if you're probably watching this video, but if you haven't, Sabrina goes through the initial walk, marks off everything, and then the final walk, and then signs off on it so that you can close. Next thing, if you have inspections you want to do, sometimes you can do it before closing, which is great. If not, you can do it right after closing. During the property is 100% under warranty, so it's good if you have your inspection done. At least we keep a record of what needs to be done. Some of our clients also wait till the 11th month to do an inspection. And those inspections usually cost anywhere from $300 to $500, and just for peace of mind, it's nice to have. So once you've got our final walk, sign off, and everything like that, you're going to have your loan documents. Make sure you're cooperating with your mortgage loan officer. There's always last minute things coming, and especially during fiscal year and fiscal quarter ends, there's lots of moving parts. They're very overworked and challenged. So you have to have patience and persistence in getting those things closed. So the next thing we'll be doing is, once you're headed to close, you'll be probably signing off on your documents, most likely with a mobile notary at your office or your home, and also be sending in your funds via wire or a cashier's check. And so just make sure, if you're sending in a wire, that you verify on phone with the closer that your funds are the correct. That you're sending the money to the right title company. There's a lot of wire fraud going on. We get some very intriguing emails just before closing, and it could be a totally bogus thing. So just make sure you make a phone call before you hit send on your closing funds. Also, you're going to be signing off on an authorized for us and the leasing agent to pick up your keys. So make sure you sign off that authorization so the keys can get picked up. Right as we close, you got to turn the utilities over, especially as we're heading into getting the grass. It needs to be watered and things like that. So that we can get the sod and the sprinkler system in, any additional sod and the sprinkler system in. So you have to go down this list. Your utilities are going to be changed over. And then you'll be looking at locks will be changed, which is up to the Texas Property Code. Then you'll be looking at putting in some additional things, like, for instance, number one, a garage door opener is a good asset. Tenants love that. Irrigation, which really, we've got some pretty good prices on irrigation, but yeah, sprinkler system definitely need to be done. On some of the larger lots, you may have some extra sod to put in, as the builder doesn't always cover all the sod, but it's usually not that much. You're also going to want to put blinds in, sometimes towel racks if they're missing, because try to make the house 100% turnkey. So once you get all this stuff in, you won't ever have to worry about it again. Blinds, towel racks, ceiling fans is good. Also, a fridge, which is very helpful. A lot of the competition has refrigerators in it. And then the microwave, countertop microwave is not a bad idea. They're cheap. And, the biggest, we're getting people coming from apartment complexes and duplexes. A lot of times they don't have these appliances, and we try to keep the barrier to entry as low as possible. So we're also looking at washer and dryer. We usually don't put in fridges. We like, because if they do have their own fridge, they can put the extra one in the garage. You can't really do that with a washer and dryer. That's between you and your manager, though. If somebody really wants a washer and dryer, we usually make them pay for it in the form of higher rent. Then we go into the marketing aspect and we're already pre-marketing the property during the time that it's headed to close, because we have other ones that have closed ahead of it, and so we kind of domino our marketing into that. High quality photos, and then we also do staging, automated AI type of staging, where it actually puts furniture in the picture and makes it look good, and it shows up well in the MLS. It shows up well in Zillow. So then we're looking at the rent strategies that we're looking at for the owners and the managers. pricing and is probably the best and most important thing to get as much of a good price on the property rent-wise, especially during the first cycle, because you do have a lot of competition. And one of the biggest things that our investors are concerned about is a vacancy. So get that rent down, because if you lose 1 month in a vacancy, you could have lowered your rent $150 a month and came out at the end of the year with the same amount of income. So don't be afraid at the point of getting this first one going that you lower that rent to a place where it's very attractive. And I usually say $50 to $100 below market, at least on the first go around. Get the engine running. Also, especially in wintertime, fall time, like when I'm doing this video, it's much slower seasonally. You want to get people on the summer cycle if at all possible. We talked about bonuses. We used to do last year. We did bonuses for our agents, leasing agents, to be able to try to get the properties leased, and outside agents, give them an extra bonus. We've decided that after talking to the on-site agents or the leasing agents, that's probably best to just go with price, because people are looking at the loss leaders. And if you got a bunch of properties that are the same in the that are the same model in the same area, which is kind of oftentimes we do, they're just going to go with the lowest price. So it's best to be the price loss leader, at least for the first go around. And you can always raise your rents as the next time that it's renewed. And once the streets are all finished, you're not dealing with a lot of construction, which is always a challenge. Even road closures, we're dealing with that right now, where we're still working on the roads and things like that. It's hard to get the people in there. So we need you to be patient, and we're persistent and patient. We help you with the leasing. We have a huge budget for that. We'll get into that in a second. Pets, be willing to take pets. About 60-70% of people, tenants in Texas have a pet. Just we don't allow any vicious dogs or anything like that. There's rules around that, but you do want to be able to allow pets. We've seen properties go many months vacant because they didn't allow pets. So patience, and then flexibility. You want to be flexible on your on the lease terms and things like that. But right now, ideally get an 18-month lease to put you back on the summer cycle if you're doing it in the winter. So we have a marketing website that we funnel all of our traffic to, and it's working out really well. It's called TexasLeaseHomes.com, and we've had over 2,000 hits since we've just this week. We had over 50 clicks. Last couple of days we've had over 50 clicks because of the other marketing that we're doing to push people to the website. It has a spreadsheet of all the properties. It has a spreadsheet of the location and virtual tours and all that kind of stuff, price and terms and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's a nice little Linktree website that makes it easy for our clients, for our tenant potentials to be able to find our properties. Also, Zillow is always a challenge, especially when the builder has put the property in Zillow. We have to get them to disconnect it from Zillow at closing or post closing, so that we can put it in for rent. Otherwise, it'll still show up as a builder listing, which makes it difficult for our people to find it. Zillow is also a challenge, and we have a whole strategy around that. I'll do that in another video. But Zillow oftentimes doesn't place the property in the right area. We have to audit that and make sure that the mapping software is right, because these new communities, the streets aren't always updated in whatever mapping software that Zillow uses. I think it's Google, but I'm not 100% sure. But we do have a backline to be able to get in and get Zillow to change it. We send in tickets to make that happen. Of course, it goes in the MLS for other agents to be able to, outside agents to be able to show the property. We're doing several postcard mailings, over several thousand postcards to renters in the area, and that's at my own expense, to draw in. Making sure that our properties are well known, exposed. Also, we have bandit signs. I personally got back putting out 100 bandit signs with the team. And actually over 100 bandit signs, which are signs that just basically say new homes for lease. Here's a QR code, leads to the website, as well as a phone number. That's Sabrina's phone number, since she's handling that, taking the calls for those. We also do a ton of Facebook posts every week, and we'll be moving into more PPC with Google as well. Do YouTube videos. The videos I do are very popular. And I've got a huge YouTube presence with over 11 million views on my channel. so that helps. We also do open houses every weekend while we have the wintertime vacancies here. Every weekend we're having open houses. I pay an agent to sit at open houses, make sure we get the exposure, along with the hundreds of bandit signs that we've put around town. The market right now is soft, but under $1,600 a month, it's not too bad. It's really actually not as many. If you get over $1,600 a month, then it starts to be a lot more crowded in those price points on renting. We also do self showings, which is great, so that the potential tenant can go to the property, and if there's not an agent to show it, then they'll go ahead and there's a way for them to get in simply by putting in their ID and things like that, and they get a code to get into the property. So those are the kinds of things that we do to ensure that the property gets exposed, and then on our end, just our team with our property managers and our leasing agents all work in coordination, and that's all part of the benefit of working with our team, is because we know what we're doing when it comes to these properties. We've done hundreds and hundreds of these closings, so we're here to use our expertise in getting them done and hopefully get somebody in some really good tenants in really quickly, and so hopefully that'll be something that's helpful for you to be cooperative with us and getting the flexibility going so we can get these properties rented. One more thing post closing. So about a month from now, you should verify your address with the county assessor's office. You can go to their website, make sure that they've changed the address in the county assessor's website. It's usually the here in Williamson County is wcad.org. You can simply go there, plug your address in, and it should have the new. It takes a while for the tax records to catch up, but we've noticed that a lot of times those tax records, because of whatever the title company didn't do their job, will end up, the property address will be your mailing address. We don't want that. We want your mailing address to be on the tax record so that you get any important thing coming from the county or anybody else, and if it's not in the tax record, it'll go to the property. For instance, your property tax protest forms and things like that, all that assessments, all that might end up going to the property, and they don't know what to do with it, and sometimes they just toss it or whatever. And so we've seen a lot of people miss out on the fact that they didn't check the county assessor as well as the homeowners association. We've had several people that the homeowners association did not get the information updated, even though we paid for it at closing to make sure the information was correct. Sometimes the HOA has the wrong address or the property address, and they're sending HOA statements to the property. It could go months of not paying dues. They get aggressive, and they can even start to try to take action on collecting. The HOAs are kind of a pain when it comes to that, so it's definitely good about a month after closing to check with the HOA, make sure they have your mailing address for important information and the property manager's address, because if there's violations for if the property has violations, those violation letters will, if they don't have the right address, it's going to go to the property. With our property management company, it comes to us, but not always. Sometimes they miss it, and so it's important that you make sure the HOA management has your property manager's address as well as your home address. And then one more last thing about the address. I would file at the post office a change of address form, just a typical forwarding, like if you were moved there and you moved out, a forwarding address for your name. That way, anything that comes in the next year that's addressed to you in your name will come to you at your address back in California or in New York or wherever you're at. That way we don't miss anything. Obviously, junk mail doesn't get forwarded, but we want to make sure that's just another layer of being able to do that. And then, of course, we'll be discussing in springtime about your property protest and how to maximize the ability to protest your property taxes, with the county tax assessor. So hopefully that 15-minute crash course will help you in what you have to do. Well, of course, I'll put this in a written form so that you have a checklist to go by. But I thought it was important that I send this out to you today, since we have so many closings happening right now. We all have to coordinate. Our team is on it. We're very excited for you and your purchase. We're excited about your friends and family and the referrals that we've been getting. We're very blessed. We're actually this is the day before Thanksgiving, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank you and your loyalty and your trust in our process here. And we will definitely make our efforts 100% and to get these properties up and running and leased out. So right after closing, there's still a lot of things that need to happen, especially with getting the property set up, but it can happen within a few days, within a week. Within 10 days, you can have this property turnkey and with tenants already potentially lining up. We've had a lot of calls on our bandit signs already in the last 24 hours. It's busy. So we just appreciate your business, appreciate your referrals. Ken Renner, 512-423-5626. Thanks again, and I'll be talking to you next time.